Okay. We live. Quick check. Live. We ready? We live. Welcome, Alphaplug community. Welcome back to the Alphaplug channel. I'm here with I'm here I'm here with Sugar Shane Devi. My name is Techno, and we're here for Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. And right now, it looks like Alexander Usyk is making his way to the ring. As you know, Alexander Usyk is the current heavyweight champion right now. He's currently about to go against his mandatory opponent, Daniel Dubois. After his two amazing performances against Anthony Joshua, we're bound to see another great performance from the champ. The question is, though, will he get it done against Dubois? Well, personally, I think he's going to, because we saw it against Joshua, so unless Dubois pulls something out of his ass, I don't think it's very likely. Well, I don't see it being a knockout because Usyk, the technician that he is, isn't likely to really want to go for a knockout because that guy is literally impossible to hit. And even when you do hit him, usually his opponents don't have that snap killer instinct to go for the kill. We saw it in the Joshua fight when Joshua had Usyk on his back foot. That's where you unload the clip and go for the kill. Because we're seeing a problem with AJ now, stuff like that. He's being too hesitant, and that's not what you want to be when you're going in there against the likes of a Deontay Wilder or a Tyson Fury, because they're better boxers than you are. So you ain't gonna outbox a better boxer, and Alexander Usyk is a perfect boxer because he's got the speed, the footwork, the ring IQ, the cardio. He's a southpaw. He's got all those traits that you have got to perfect your fight style against. And the fight styles we saw in the first and second Anthony Joshua fight against Usyk were not the right strategies. Which is why, in my opinion, Tyson Fury is also ducking Usyk because he's a real challenge. And people could say, oh, he's a middleweight, or he's this, he's that. Well, if he's that easy of a fight, why aren't you fighting him? Why do you have to constantly make negotiations so difficult to fight him if he's that easy? To be honest, I think most people are just sick of Tyson Fury's bullshit, to be honest, because I got sick of it when the fucking Chisora fight got announced. When you have the likes of an Alexander Usyk in there, he is going to be a technical boxer because that guy is just too good. I've heard True Geordie say something about this. You have to knock Usyk out because you ain't beating him in a boxing match. He's just that good of a boxer. And the fact that he is a smaller guy, and the fact that he doesn't carry that much weight for someone who's a heavyweight, it's like Deontay Wilder, for example. That man is 6'7", yet he's got a very thin frame. He's got long arms, he's got the swinging of his arms, and he's got the footwork. That's how he gets his power. But that guy literally I imagine that guy would struggle to make 265, and yet you have people like Francis Ngannou who can get there very easily because he's very muscly. Wilder's not that kind of fighter, but that guy is still dangerous for someone who can knock down someone who's 40 pounds heavier than him. And it's the same with Usyk. He might not be the biggest guy in the heavyweight division. He's probably one of the smallest, but that guy can carry his weight very easily and can easily just zip around the ring like that. Because it reminds me a bit of what happened with John Jones when he fought Cyril Gane. That man fought at 205 for a decade, and he's used to fighting at fast pace. So that's why when he did go up to 265 or more to fight Cyril Gane, his body was just so easy able to move around. he had the footwork of a light heavyweight, but he had the body mass of a heavyweight, and he would have had that power as well. But obviously, that fight only was like 2 minutes, so like that's what makes Usyk like similar to John Jones is that coming up in weight, he can carry it a lot easier, even when he's not even that natural big guy. And yet here we have him now, like probably just gonna put another technician performance on. If we knocked him out, I'd be surprised. But what can I say? Yeah. Uh, it's WBC, but we all know the W. A fun fact, actually. Like he's a very light heavyweight. Like he's very small for a heavyweight, and I think he's like 6'3". Like he's very like he's not that big of a guy for someone who's heavyweight, but yeah, he's able to move around like it's just he just does it so easily because that's what makes Alexander Usyk a very dangerous opponent. It's the fact that he might not have the highest amount of knockout power. He might not be able to like knock someone out clean like what Deontay Wilder can do to people. But what makes him so good is the fact that he's a technician. His ring IQ and his speed is something that is very dangerous. Like you can avoid a power punch, but when you've got an opponent who will throw 700 punches against you and just gash you out, how can you beat that? Like that's you'd have to go to You'd have to go to the likes of Muhammad Ali to find someone who could throw that many punches in a short amount of time. And don't forget, Muhammad Ali an anomaly himself. That man was like 6 foot, was like 6'3", I think. He was a lot. It was a lighter heavyweight. He was obviously above 205, but he was a bit. I think he didn't weigh as. I don't think he weighed as much as like 260 or something, to my knowledge. But that man could throw 15 punches in like 5 seconds. Like that guy was something else. And we're seeing something with Usyk. But let me just make one thing clear. I am not comparing Alexander Usyk to Muhammad Ali. I don't think anybody would be able to do what Ali did. But my point is, it's similar in the sense of he can do something that Muhammad Ali also could do. So like you can't exactly like just ignore that. Like if Usyk can throw 700 punches and not gas out, like how are you gonna beat him? Again, you beat Usyk by knocking him out. That's why I'd probably give Deontay Wilder more of a chance against Usyk than AJ. If AJ hadn't fought Usyk now, you could look at the Chisora fight, for example, because Chisora is one of those people who, if he lands on you, it will hurt. Like, and don't forget, this was the Chisora before he went on like the 3 loss streak, I believe. I think it was he lost to Usyk, then he fought, I think it was Joseph Parker twice, and then he fought Pulev and won, and then he lost to Tyson, obviously, and he's just fought against Gerald Washington and beat him. So like that's something that as well. So you could probably look at it similar to that, but obviously Dubois is younger. He's more fit than Chisora now, and obviously Chisora has had decision wins. So and this guy I don't think has actually gone to the cards once. And the only fight he lost was against Joe Joyce, who just got beat by Zhilei Zhang. So like you can't predict anything right now. And don't forget Joe Joyce is apparently the guy who was also lined up to fight Tyson. Both eyes are staring down, yeah. Both men will be going back to their corners. I'm not someone who thinks that Dubois will win. Like I literally give him like a 5% chance, and I've literally spoke to people about this. And when I said 5% chance, the people I said it was generous, and people agreed with me. So, but then again, who knows? All just comes down to if Usyk can do what he did against Joshua to Dubois. But given that Dubois is going to be a little bit more like on the go and to throw those like big right hands, we'll find out. He's he's so light on his feet for someone who's like a very like heavyweight. Usually the first round is like not usually where you like expect a knockout from like from a Usyk fight, but this is a good round for like Usyk to download information. Usyk does well is that he always claims the first 3 rounds and then he claims the last 3. So it's usually that 6 minute window. What makes Usyk vote? Makes Usyk so good? I don't. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure. Well, I could safely say. Let me just take over for a bit then. So you can see Usyk is still very light on his feet. Uh, this is what makes Usyk so good is the fact that he's very slick. He's very quick. It's not You're not likely to catch him very easily. You have to be very careful when landing those punches on him because he has the little tricks to get himself out of danger. I can hear you, but it's just like check the WhatsApp really quickly because there's some people saying that they can't hear you. That's round one over. Usyk did landed a really good jab on Dubois, and obviously he's very slick as usual. But don't forget, this is just the first round. Like there's gonna be like Usyk is just gonna be too good for Dubois right now, and he's gonna be able to like easily like just get Dubois like respect, and when he gets his respect, you'll realize. I can safely say though, like what makes Usyk a very good fighter is again speed, footwork, ring IQ. Like that's what makes him such a dangerous opponent. He might not have like the skills to like actually completely knock out a person, but he easily could just easily can outbox people, and that's what in my opinion does make him a very dangerous opponent. Like, what do you think?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you should be good now, hopefully, but it depends on Like, let me just check. It's working now. Apparently, okay. Apparently, they can hear you. Say something.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Okay. Sorry for the technical delay. We're just having a few issues with apparently getting Shane's voice. Okay, yeah. I think they can hear you now. I think they can hear you now.
Ah, brilliant,
Okay.
brilliant, good stuff.
Apologies for the technical delays. We've been trying to get this sorted for a while now, and we're just a little bit frustrated about it.
But nah, man, it's all good. The second round started, guys, and as we predicted, Usyk on his toes, technical boxing, using that lead hand a lot. He's jabbing Dubois quite a lot. That's exactly as we said. The speed, the ring IQ, the footwork is all prevailing now, and Usyk is in the lead.
Yeah, he's obviously won that first round, and I remember, I think it was True George who made a good point about this. Usyk always banks the first 3 rounds, and then he always banks the last three. So then you have that 6 minute, that 6 round window in the middle to try get some knockdowns or try and knock him out because, like I said, Usyk is just too fucking clever in it. Like he's a technician. He's not a knockout artist, but he's a technician.
Yeah,
Pardon me.
100%, man, 100%. But you want to see something different from Dubois. You want to see maybe him go to the body more, maybe him mix it up instead of just trying to play, the chess match, the lead hand chess match, which obviously we know that Usyk will win. So you want to say, maybe for Dubois, it's maybe take a few rounds off and then come back with some heavy combos. Heavy combos. Maybe put Usyk on the back foot, maybe apply some pressure, maybe up the tempo. Just do something, to try and get Usyk off his rhythm.
Yeah, because that's what you gotta do against like when that's what you gotta do against an Alexander Usyk is because the guy's very quick, he's very fast, he's very technical with his punches, and you have to be very precise when you're landing that right or that left or right hand because you ain't just gonna swing wildly and land it unless you're Deontay Wilder who can actually have a chance to land it. It ain't
That's the
happening.
second round in the books now. Second round in the books, and it looks like another Usyk round, man. Like
Yeah.
you see him again. You see him heavy on that lead hand. You see him snapping the head back of Dubois with the jab. You see quick, sharp, technical boxing. Again, another right hand flush on Dubois' face. It's clean, sharp, technical boxing, and that's two rounds to nil for Usyk right now.
Well, we've just had some stats come in about the punches landed. Alexander Usyk has landed 17 out of 66 punches, and Dubois has landed 10 out of 55, with Usyk having a 26% punch accuracy right now. So he's got that on his side at least. So, but that's what Usyk does. Like 66 punches in 2 rounds. Now that's 30 punches every round. And even if he threw an average of 30 punches a round, that would still be like 30 times 30, like 360 punches like in 12 rounds, and that's less from what some boxers throw in like 50. That's what some boxers throw in like 12 like some boxers are throwing less than 360 punches a fight, let alone just like 12 rounds. So like that's what makes Usyk so devastating. It's just the fact that he's just so good when it comes to technical boxing. He's a technician. Good, good, good,
Yeah,
good.
man, it really is pleasing on the eye to see someone just dart in and out of range on their toes all the time. It's quick, sharp, technical boxing, as I just said, and it looks like Usyk is kind of running away with it. I know we're early, we're only in the third round out of 12 guys, but it looks like Usyk is really putting on the pressure.
Because like that's the thing though. Like Dubois has to be. I think Dubois will have to get a bit more aggressive because he can't risk like just letting Usyk outbox him because you cannot take that risk. I think there was a bit of a I think there was a little bit of a below the belt punch there because the referee just stopped it for a second. I'm not sure what happened there, but we're back into it. So, like, Dubois has to be careful though. Like you could like
Oh, that's a really good shot from Dubois, though.
agreed. It's a good shot, but there has to be a lot more
Yeah,
than just one good shot
referee just
because
stopped the action for a second, and we get back into it.
You can't risk like you cannot just throw one good punch and expect that to work. You have to throw combinations. That's what AJ was struggled with. When he did land that good shot, he didn't follow up on it. He didn't unload the clip. That's what you've got to do against an Alexander Usyk. You can't hold back and win a boxing match against an Alexander Usyk. The guy's a technician for a reason.
Yeah, man. As you said, you've really got to throw, two, three, four punch combinations to try and land anything on Usyk.
Yeah, because like, that guy's just too quick. You can't just land that one right hand unless you're Deontay Wilder, who has the power and the speed to actually knock people out that way. No one else is going to be able to do it. Tyson Fury isn't going to be able to do it. Anthony Joshua wasn't able to do it. No one can, apart from Wilder, in my opinion. And don't forget, this is what Usyk's strategy is. He gasses his opponents out because when they do become more aggressive, that's when he uses his superior head movement and footwork to get out the way of the punches or to take a lot of the damage off of them. Like what John Jones does when he rolls with the shots. It's he That's what he does. He'll just gas his opponents out, and when they're gassed out, that's when he can throw like 15 punches like every like 10 seconds, and then it's over at that point because you'll be too tired to land that big right hand, and then Usyk will just be too quick, and his cardio would just be too will make it too difficult for you to actually win the fight. So unless Dubois has got something up his sleeve here, I see this going for the Ukrainian.
I mean, that was a closer round, but I think you could still give it to Usyk, man. And then, like I said, that's 3-0 to Usyk now. Like I said, the quick, sharp, technical shots was winning this fight. You see there on the replay that 1-2 just landed down the pipe. And Dubois looks like in a bit of trouble already. You can't really figure out the technicality of Usyk at the moment.
Yeah. What I like about Usyk as well is the fact that since he is a southpaw, usually southpaws are a lot more difficult to fight against, and like you've fought yourself before. You orthodox or southpaw?
Orthodox.
So that you would have a lot of trouble going against a southpaw opponent because southpaws are just very tricky to fight against. That's why some people have struggled with like when you that's why people also struggle with Usyk because people who are orthodox fighters are not prepared usually to fight southpaws unless they train for it. But as we saw, Anthony Joshua might have trained to fight against a southpaw, but the strategy he went in with was just not good enough.
Yeah, man. I think when you do fight a southpaw, you've really got to respect them. It is very, very awkward. That again, it comes down to the intricacies of boxing. When you fight a southpaw, it's not just fighting; it's the footwork. It's getting the lead foot outside of their foot to land the big right hand. It's stuff like that. The intricacies of boxing, you really got to pay attention to, and you've really got to be switched on when you fight a southpaw. And like you said, with Anthony Joshua, in that first Ruiz fight, we didn't see that tentativeness. We didn't see that caution. We didn't see that, hey, I've got to be on it now because I'm fighting a heavy-handed, quick southpaw in Andrew Ruiz, and that's essentially why he lost. So, yeah, man, it's definitely more awkward when you're fighting a southpaw in boxing.
And what people need to realize as well is the fact that 3 minutes may seem like a lot, but realistically, for an Alexander Usyk, it's pennies for him because when you look at it, like we're already a minute and 45 into this round, and yet Alexander Usyk is just easily just landing those good shots and just getting out of the way, like, and then Dubois when he tries to go for the punches, he'll just hit air, and this reminds me of what happened with Tank and Garcia. Like Garcia is very quick with his hands and is usually able to land those punches, but against Tank, he weren't landing them punches at all. He was just way too quick, and it was way because Tank Davis is a clever little fighter because he spent a lifetime in the Mayweather gym and they know what they're doing. What I got respect about Usyk's coaches as well is the fact that they know what they're doing with their fighter.
Exactly, man. And honestly, man, as a guy who likes technical, quick, sharp boxing, I appreciate Usyk's style so much because stylistically, it's so hard to deal with. Again, when you've got a guy light on his feet, in and out of range all the time, he goes into range, throws his jab straight out of range. It's quick, sharp, and guys, let's remember, right? The main part about boxing, although we love the knockouts, we love the big punches, we love all that stuff, right? the main part of combat sports and fighting is hit and do not get hit. And there's not many guys in the world that do that better than Alexander Usyk.
A heavyweight as well.
That's why he's so successful, and that's why he's won all these titles, because he does it so well.
And don't forget, he's a heavyweight now as well. So obviously, when you're a heavyweight, you're not going to be as quick as you. Let's take Terence Bud Crawford for example. Usyk probably wouldn't be as fast as him because he's got a lot more weight to carry and more muscle to carry as well. But when you look at Terence Crawford, he walks around what, like maybe like 160, 170. That's his walk around weight, and yeah, he can get down to 140 and stuff a lot easier than what Usyk could probably do to get back to, like, let's say 180 or something. So Usyk is just gonna have to worry about carrying a lot more weight on him. And what I think when Usyk definitely did start boxing, I think who he started training with got his cardio up to a good level, because the fact that he's got such good cardio for a heavyweight. And I do think at one point during the first Anthony Joshua fight, it did look like he was breathing heavily, but he clearly knows some good techniques to keep his energy up and keep his oxygen up, because the fact he literally went in there in the last 3 rounds and just outboxed Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. But there you see it, guys. We've had 4 rounds of boxing now, and I give every single round to Alexander Usyk. For me, Daniel Dubois has still not done enough. He's got to now. It's the 5th round. We're near halfway point already. Daniel Dubois has to now start loading the clip. Daniel Dubois has to start putting combination punches together. 2, 3, 4, 5 punches. Even if three don't land, maybe. No. Wait.
Oh,
I think it's a timeout. Yeah, that's not a knockdown.
Yeah, I think that might have gone in the area where you don't want it to be hit, because that definitely like the angle wasn't good.
A bit of pain here, guys.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, Usyk is like signaling to, like, where he's been hitting like the bad areas, so you don't want to be hit there.
And
So
he doesn't look in good shape at all right now.
no, when you get hit there, it hurts.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
I can say from experience. Yes.
Let's see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just below the belt. Then you can see him in wincing pain.
I don't think this will go to. I think this could possibly be like a no contest, because if you get hit down there and you can't continue, then I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I think the ref is making a decision right now. I think I'm not sure though. Like, I'm not sure what's gonna happen though, because it definitely, like, if you were getting hit in the body, like, you wouldn't fall like that. Like, that was clearly a below the belt punch. He did get back. He's getting back up though. Like, he is getting back up. Like, Usyk had every right just to stay down there, but he's getting back up, which I've got to respect. But I'm not sure what's gonna happen with the ref. I think he's gonna continue fine. I'm not sure though. Let's just see what the ref says. I think Usyk is like taking a few minutes.
He's back to his feet now.
He's on his feet right now. He's gone to his corner. I'm not. Let's see what they say.
The crowd clapping as well. That does take a lot of courage, man. To see that type of adversity, that type of pain, and come back from it is.
Oh yeah, that was below belt. Like, I just like the shot there was just below belt. That was not even a body punch. It was not even a body blow. It was literally okay. We're back. Okay, we're back. Actually, we're back. The fight continues.
Not yet for me, but
yeah, like, the streams can be a bit of a delay when it comes to like on my on TNT right now. Like, I'm up to the stretch, but like yours isn't working.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing the replay now, man. That was below the belt.
Refresh your page just to be safe. Yeah. Like, that was below belt. That wasn't even a body shot. Like, if it was a body shot, it would be a lot higher up. But that was below belt. The fact that Usyk is, I think Usyk wants to continue though, so you have to respect that.
Oh, 100%.
It looks like he is going to continue, from what I can see. The first, I'm not sure. Will that affect him? I think it will though, because don't forget, when you get hit down there, it is really painful. And I think Dubois is probably going to get warned for it though, or possibly could have a point taken away.
Yeah, yes, man. I would not be surprised if Daniel Dubois gets a point taken off him, man. You don't want to see that, especially in a world title fight. You do not want to see that at all, man.
Yeah,
Um,
we just saw another replay, but that was clear blow belt. That was not a body shot. When I saw it, I thought it was a body shot, but it clearly wasn't when we see the replay because the original camera angle wasn't very good. So we saw it now. It's not. I don't think I think that was accidental, but if it wasn't, then that's not good. But we continue. And oh my god, he just got hit. He just got hit in the balls, and yet he's still running around and still like. But this is good. This is good for like Dubois to actually capitalize on. The question is, will he catch him? And even then, like Usyk is still dodging the punches and he's still lying on his feet. Like Usyk is, in my opinion, like one of the greatest heavyweights in this generation. That he actually got hit in the balls and yet is still going. Like you
oh,
can't.
but you see there, Daniel Dubois steps up the pace straight away, and they get back in action. Oh,
That's what you
and
gotta
we're
do.
seeing here, Daniel Dubois really push the pace now.
That's what you gotta do against the
Usyk's on the back
Usyk.
foot now.
When you've got Usyk on the back foot, that's where you unload the clip. That's what you've got to do to knock him out. Because you can't win a decision by him, but given what we saw right now, it wouldn't surprise me if he did actually knock him out. I just don't know, to be honest.
Could be interesting to see how Usyk adapts, man, and hopefully gets back into the fight on his end.
I think if he just gets to like if he gets to his corner, like so he can have like a bit of a rest, I think maybe might be a bit better, but we're not sure. It depends on what he does now, to be honest. But also, good right low right hand there from Dubois, but one right hand isn't going to be enough to knock out Alexander Usyk. But look at oh my god, he's just back. He's back on his front foot again. This guy is just too. This guy's just too good. My question is though, like, will that low blow affect him in the long term? Because don't forget, like, obviously it's going to be painful in the short term, but will it affect him in the long term? Because we've seen that sometimes getting hit in the groin badly can affect you. But, oh my god, Usyk's on his front foot now. Yeah,
Oh, but you're seeing Usyk on the front foot again, landing blow after blow, jab after jab, and it's back to winning ways for Alexander Usyk here.
That low blow clearly doesn't seem to be affecting him right now. I'm just a bit concerned about what's going to happen in the future because, like, getting hit down there might really do some damage to you.
Ooh. Oh, now he's putting some big shots together, guys. So, ooh. Oh, is that an uppercut?
Round over. That's round over. Now that was an interesting round to say the least. But who would you give that round to then? Because it's tough to
That's a great
say.
left hook.
Who would you say has won this round?
Changing
Because
angles now, changing angles. On the front foot. Snaps his head back with the right hand. And a jab. And a right hand after it. Oh, great round. Great round for both fighters, honestly. Great round for both fighters.
good right hand there. Good left hand from Usyk.
Yeah, man, really good round for both fighters. Honestly, I'm not sure who you give it to. I don't really know who was on top before the low blow, but that was a very good round for both fighters. I've got to admit.
Indeed. It's good from Usyk as well to come back from that low blow.
Oh man, he slaps his head back, snaps it back completely with that right hand. Yeah, man, it looks to me like Dubois is really in kind of like deep waters. He doesn't really know how to figure out the puzzle that is Alexander Usyk right now.
Indeed. Okay, I think the next round is about to start. Here we go.
Yep.
Next round starts. Usyk seems to be going on the front foot again. It seems, but
bro, you've seen the feints again. We said this right at the start, guys. You've seen the feints. You've seen the light on his toes.
for someone who's a heavyweight as well, like you can't. It's surprising to see someone who's a heavyweight carrying over 220 pounds is able to move around so quickly. Like,
Exactly, man.
because Usyk is used to fighting at lighter weights. Like even at cruiserweight, he was used to fighting at a lighter weight than say Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury because he's not as big as them. good right hand from Dubois lands, but Usyk doesn't seem that bothered. Like I said, but like I said when I compared Usyk to John Jones, he rolls with shots very well, John Jones, and Usyk just does that as well, because that allows him to just dodge the punches and take all of the damage off of them. But the fact that we're in like round 5 or 6 now, and yeah, and now Usyk's gone on the front foot again. Like you can't predict anything with boxing unless.
Oh, see, he is as well, man. Precision as well, you know, as well as power, it's really his precision. You know, the way he's jabbing his head on the button, and you see his snap back repeatedly. Now we've seen that quite a lot over 6 rounds. It just goes to show that he is one of the best heavyweights in the world right now.
And is one of the most technical boxers in heavyweight. Because obviously we see people like Deontay
100%.
Wilder who don't have the level of technique that Usyk has, but he makes up for it with his power. And this is it's similar to when you look at Deontay Wilder and why he's so dangerous is because of his power. What makes Usyk so dangerous is the fact that you just can't land on him.
True, man. 100% true.
Good body shot. I think a good body shot landed from Dubois then.
I think that landed above the belt line, but honestly, I'm not sure.
Camera angles aren't the best, but that's what I think. Body shots, and then body shots is probably a good way to get Usyk distracted before, because he's clearly very comfortable going on front foot or back foot.
We're seeing a lot of body shots now from Daniel Dubois. Maybe that's his attempt to try and get Usyk off his rhythm.
Yeah, that's why Usyk's very comfortable when he gets into his rhythm, and that's what he did against Joshua. When Joshua did land some body shots, he did get Usyk off his rhythm for a bit, but then that's the problem. Anthony Joshua doesn't have that killer instinct anymore, and that's why when he did have Usyk like off his rhythm, he didn't just unload it and then go for him. And you don't want to do that against a Usyk, because as soon as he's back in his rhythm, you're gonna get you're gonna get your head jab back, and you're just gonna get hurt. And as you saw, AJ got battered by the end of that fight. Even then, Usyk was bleeding at the end of their first fight as well, so. And that's another round over. Usyk is just, it's hard to like understand like why some people, it's hard to understand when you look back at the Anthony Joshua fights, when Anthony Joshua had Usyk off his rhythm, when he did get him against the ropes, why he didn't land that big backhand. That's the moment where you've got to unload the clip, throw combinations, land them punches, get him out of there. I don't know why. I don't know like who his mental health coaches are, but they've got to realize that when you look at Alexander Usyk, you can't win a boxing match against him. The guy's too fucking good at boxing.
And that's what boxers need in the heavyweight division need to start realizing, right? There's no point in trying to play a chess match with him. You need to go in there with the mindset of, I have to knock him out, otherwise I lose. There's no if or buts. There's no point trying to feint your way in. There's no point trying to play the lead hand chess match. There's no point trying to do the same footwork. Either get the knockout or lose. You might as well just go for broke, honestly, because you're gonna lose regardless.
It's kill or be killed, and in my opinion, Deontay Wilder has the best chance out of Fury, AJ, and him to actually beat Usyk, because when you look at Wilder, you know he's gonna try land that punch and be aggressive, and that's what Usyk will need to think about. Like when you got someone like Deontay Wilder who will just go for you and just keep going forward to land the punches on you. So honestly, if Deontay Wilder knocked out Alexander Usyk, it wouldn't surprise me. Because look at Deontay Wilder, the man like has all these knockouts for a reason.
100%, man. And like we saw in the first AJ fight with Usyk, right? He did take a lot of shots, to be fair. Usyk, you know, his face after the fight was a bit bloodied and bruised. So it shows that you can land shots in Usyk. It's just got to be throughout the fight. You can't start the fight off, you know, just jabbing, moving. You know, you've got to, from round one till the end of the fight, you've got to be throwing combination punches with bad intentions to try and knock him out. And that's the only way I see anyone in the heavyweight division beating Alexander Usyk.
And here's another thing I've noticed. Usually Usyk usually can be off his rhythm when he's on his back foot, but he does have the little tricks and skills to get himself out of it. Like we just saw there. When he's in the corner, that's where you've got to keep him there. You've got to keep Usyk in the corner. Because while he does have tricks and techniques to get himself out of danger, if you can keep him in that corner and land shots on him, he's gonna crack eventually. You can't when you've got your opponent against the ropes, you've got to go for him. Like we saw with Canelo versus Bivol. When Bivol had Canelo against the ropes, he went for him. But at that point, you then got to realize the moment when you get out of there, because you can't stay there for too long, but you've got to stay in there long enough to land decent shots and keep Usyk hurt and keep him on his back foot and just keep him against the ropes. That's what you've got to do against him. Just you can't let Usyk. You can't. You just need to keep Usyk out of his rhythm. Like that's what you've got to do.
Agreed, man. Agreed, man.
What I
But
love.
honestly, we're saying this, yeah, it is easier said than done, especially when you're in the world title fight, you know? It's
Yeah,
easier said than done.
and when you're in there against an opponent who is just who's more likely to try go for a knockout, and compared to Usyk, who will just he can easily just win by decision because he's just that good with technical boxing. He's a technician for a reason. What I don't like with an opponent when people fight Usyk is when they're too timid, like we saw with Joshua. Like Chisora won some good rounds, won the first 3 rounds against Usyk because he was aggressive. He did try to get Usyk on his back foot, and that's what you gotta do. You gotta disrupt his rhythm because Usyk is very good when it comes to when he's in his rhythm. When he's in his rhythm, he can land 15 to 20 punches because he's very comfortable because he knows his opponents are either going to be too timid or they're going to be too gassed to be able to actually land the big right hand or big left hand on him. And that's why I have a lot of respect for what Chisora did, because obviously he was probably never going to win that fight, but he did keep Usyk on his back foot, and he did keep Usyk. He did hurt Usyk with some pretty good shots. Not very much because we all know how that fight ended, but you can respect someone who goes in there with kill or be killed, and that's what the same with Wilder if they fought. But with Joshua, you have to look at him thinking, well, he didn't exactly look the greatest against like Pulev. Obviously, he knocked down Pulev and then knocked him out, but that's not the same Joshua we saw against Klitschko. And that Klitschko Joshua was probably one of the best Joshuas. Even though he got knocked down, he still came back and landed that good uppercut and knocked Klitschko out.
Exactly, man. Exactly. But again, I want to see more variety from Daniel Dubois, man. I want to see him try, get some uppercuts, more body shots, really try and throw Usyk off his rhythm at all, whatsoever. Because man, we're in the 8th round right now, and honestly, I'm not sure. I may be unsure with 2 rounds, but I've at least got it 6-2 to Usyk, man.
This is what Usyk does. Like he gets the first 3 rounds and then he'll get the last 3. So you've got this 6 minute window to get him out of there or to get knockdowns to maybe win by decision if you're lucky enough. But I don't think that would be the game plan for any fight going in there. Like your game plan for going against Usyk is to knock him out basically, but be smart about it.
It shows how good Alexander Usyk is, man. Because bearing in mind, guys, remember this: Daniel Dubois has 19 wins and 18 knockouts. Right now, obviously, no all credit to him. No offense, this is a tough world title fight. Right now, Usyk is making Daniel Dubois look like an amateur. He's barely won a round. It
I
just
know.
goes to show how good, this might not be, the big knockout that everybody loves. This might not be, that big knockout, but seeing technical boxing at his finest now, and he is racking up the rounds. Racking up the rounds now.
I'm looking forward to see what the punches landed is gonna look like for Alexander Usyk, because usually that guy like averages out maybe like 400, maybe 400 to 500 punches like a boxing match, because that guy just will just not give up. That guy will just keep throwing punches, and like his cardio is amazing. Like for a heavyweight as well. Like the fact that he can go 12 rounds without gassing. Like I do notice he does breathe heavily at times, but then again, no, the next few rounds he comes out like he's not even had a. He comes out like he's in the first round, like just on his feet, lie on his feet, landing the punches, and just outboxing them again. Because I want to know what his breathing techniques are like, because he's clearly doing something right.
And man, for me, right, what's more impressive about the 3, 4, 500 punches he throws per boxing match is the amount he lands. It's so hard to land, in heavyweight fights, because obviously the guys are like, the defense is so good, the skill level is so high, especially at the pinnacle of the heavyweight division. The fact that he's landing jab after jab after jab, body shot after body shot, His shot, that shot, in and out of range, barely gonna hit himself. It's what's even more impressive about Alexander Usyk, man. And we're seeing it literally now that he's just constantly jabbing, hitting Dubois, and Dubois has not got an answer for it.
And that's what makes Usyk dangerous. You just can't land on him, and then oh,
Oh,
Dubois took a knee. Dubois took a knee.
He's down. He's down.
Is that a knock? That's a
That's a
knockdown.
knockdown there.
That's a knockdown.
Oh, and he's getting a count, guys. That's an Alexander Usyk is knocked down Daniel Dubois.
He's back up. He's back up though.
He's back to his feet.
I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like he oh wait.
And
round over.
And that's the end of the round, man. And that's a 10-8 round, man. That's a 10-8 round.
The countdown was there. As soon as the ref does that countdown, that's a 10-8 round.
Exactly, man. And this is what we're saying, man. This guy racks up the rounds as you go. And we're looking at a shutout. All respect to Daniel Dubois, but guys, we're looking at a shutout now. We're looking at a lopsided fight. We're looking at a one-sided fight.
And don't forget
this just speaks volumes to how good Usyk is.
And like you said, Shane, Daniel Dubois has got 18 knockouts and one loss, and that loss was against Joe Joyce, who just lost to Zhilei Zhang, and he's the guy that's supposed to fight Tyson Fury now. So, like, you can't, like, the thing is though, like, this guy is not an amateur. Like, oh my god, look at those scorecards. Like, he's won barely like 2 rounds.
Scorecards, bro.
He's won like 2 rounds, and he's
this is what I'm saying, man. People no, because the criticism of Usyk is, he's not a power puncher though. He's not a guy who can knock out a heavyweight. Yada yada yada. Bro, look at the scorecard. It's so one-sided. It's a joke.
That's what, and it's not just the knockouts. Like I'm a big fan of knockout boxing, but like I love when there's a knockout. But what happened there? I think Usyk just figured.
Is that another punch below the belt there?
Mate, is Dubois? Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna say. Is Dubois like? Does Dubois just like hitting guys in the junk or something? Because I'm not gonna lie, he seems to be like he seems to like go over there. But no, like I'm pretty sure it's an accidental. Or look now Usyk has got Dubois against the ropes. That's where Dubois wants to get Usyk. And look at that, like he's so quick at his punches. He lands the punches and just gets out quick as he can. It's just so clever from Usyk. And I've become a big fan of Usyk since the AJ fights.
100%, man. And the way he's changing angles as well, effortlessly, just changing angles all the time. Brilliant, man.
It's those jabs as well to throw his opponents off. Because like Dubois, I imagine can be very comfortable when you go in there against like a Christian Hammer. Dubois can get into his rhythm and then land the punch to knock him out. But against Usyk will just keep you guessing. He will not let you have a second to think about your game plan. And as soon as your game plan is out the window, like you're in Usyk's world and you've got to escape. And unfortunately, no one can escape Usyk's world. Oh, down again. He's down again.
Oh, he's down again. As I was about to say, right, Daniel Dubois has to start sitting down on shots in order to win the fight. He gets knocked down. And we're looking at another 10-8 round.
It's over. It's over.
It's over. It's done.
It's over. Usyk has won.
Alexander Usyk wins and retains all his belts again in the 9th round against Daniel Dubois. This is what we said all fight, guys. We've said this all fight, haven't we, Techno?
We've said it.
Usyk, it's going to be so difficult to beat him now. So difficult. And he made it look easy. That's the scary part, guys. He made this look easy.
And Dubois is a guy whose record is all knockout. I don't think has he gone to the decision once? Like, and don't forget, and what I like about Usyk is about that he's very humble. He's very stoic. Like when Tyson Fury was launching all those insults at him after he had beaten Chisora, Usyk just stood there, cold as a statue, and just didn't give a flip. He did not care.
Well, honestly, right, the most impressive bit about this fight is the fact that Usyk faced adversity yet again, but still didn't let it get to him, and was even better, I would say, afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, we know how tough it is to take a low blow, right? In a world title match in boxing, to take a low blow against a heavyweight, a knockout artist heavyweight is going to be difficult. Yet he still comes back. He still adapts. He's still on the front foot again, and he manages to knock out Daniel Dubois.
It's so like that's what makes Usyk a very dangerous fighter. Like I've said this whole stream, I've said this a couple times, but it's just fact. Like when you go in there against the Deontay Wilder, you know that he's gonna want to land that big right hand, and that's the thing though. Wilder is very comfortable on his front foot, but when you get him on his back foot, he does struggle. Like we saw that's what Tyson did in the second fight. He got him on his back foot. It's like what it's what Charles Oliveira did to Justin Gaethje. Get him on his back foot. He's very comfortable going forward, but backwards he's not as comfortable. So that's what you gotta do. And it's the same way with Usyk. He's very comfortable on his front foot. He's also comfortable on his back foot. But if you can get him against the ropes and land some good punches on him, you could get him out of his rhythm. But then again, you have to be very quick with it. You cannot even for a second let Usyk get back into his rhythm, because as soon as he's done that, you're in his world. And as we've noticed, no one when someone goes into his world, they don't leave.
Yeah. And that's perfect, mate. You've literally said it in a nutshell. When you go into Usyk's world, you do not leave. That's that.
And the only way you do leave is where you're either knocked down the floor, you have lost by TKO, or the fight's over. Like that's it. You can't beat him by
Yeah.
decision. We've noticed this. You are not beating Usyk by decision, and it frustrates me as to why Anthony Joshua in those two fights was trying to win a boxing match with him, bro. Mike Tyson has literally said you can either fight for a decision or fight for a knockout, but you can't do both. And Anthony Joshua needs that drilled into his damn brain, because I don't know. He changes coaches, but the same problems are there. Like you aren't winning a boxing match against Usyk. And here's the body shot. Wait. Oh, he did.
Ooh,
Oh.
nah, man, I'm watching the knockout blow. Ooh, wow.
Oh.
Wow, you see the jaw just literally snap sideways. It's like, what?
And that's just a
Oh, wow,
jab.
yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
That's
Was
a
that a
jab.
jab?
I think that was just a jab. I don't even think it was like.
Wow.
And that's just. And people say Usyk's not a knockout artist, bro. He knocked him out like one punch, like a jab as
Exactly.
well.
People criticize Usyk saying that he can't knock people out, but he's just completely dropped him with a jab.
Like, and that's and a jab is
Right there.
a jab is always underutilized. Like, usually like obviously you see with opponents like Usyk who will use their jab because they're smart to know that your jab is one of your strongest weapons in that ring. Because if you can just keep your opponent away from you, you can easily just jab your way to a decision. Simple. It's what Anthony Joshua did to Andy Ruiz in the second fight. He just kept his jab out and kept him away. And obviously, since Ruiz was a fat fuck in that fight, he wasn't able to get to Joshua. What? I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
man. As we see Usyk celebrating now with his with the crowd.
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
Obviously
man.
Usyk is
Deserved it as well, man. Deserved. Honestly, this guy is a talent, like a big talent, and I just can't wait to see. Hopefully, we get that Fury versus he's doing the dancing as well. Hopefully, we get that Fury versus Usyk fight very soon, man, because we need it.
and this is I think what I did like I said before, Usyk is a very humble guy. He's very likable by people. Like I don't think I've seen apart from the odd Fury fans who are just weirdos. Like I don't think I've seen like a single person say they actually dislike Usyk. To my knowledge, anyway, because like yeah, he's not going to be the most exciting fighter in the world because he's not like a knockout artist, yada yada. It doesn't affect. I don't think that because I do like some technical boxing, and I also do like knockouts. But what I like about Usyk that he does keep it interesting. He's not just an opponent who will just go in there, land some punches, yada yada yada. He's smart in there, and that's what I love. Not only do I love knockouts, I also love when people are smart. Like what Floyd Mayweather did. Like when Floyd Mayweather fought, it was fun because he knew he like when you look at Floyd Mayweather's head movement and how he never got hit. I could probably count on like one hand how many times Floyd Mayweather got hit with a good shot, and the only one I can even remember is Sugar Shane Mosley, and even then he got completely outclassed. Look
Yeah,
look
man. As we're seeing the stats now, look how many times he's landed 52 jabs, bro.
300
Who
nearly.
can compete? In 9 rounds, he's landed 52 jabs. Think of not honestly, right? For the viewers watching this, think about 52 jabs, just snapping your head back. 52, 1, 2. Oh, bro, and that's just jabs. Never mind the right hands. Never mind the body shots. Never mind the up in the pace, the footwork. This is what we're saying, right? It's quick, sharp, technical boxing that's won in this fight.
it's just hard to say, to be honest, but like it's hard to really like just quantize like how good Usyk is right now, and
Mm.
like I could safely say this though. If Usyk was so easy, was like always a middleweight, a chicken, yada yada. Put your money where your mouth is. Why did you have to offer Usyk 70-30? Why was there supposed to be no rematch clause? And why did you constantly have to change the details? Like, am I wrong? Like, if Usyk is so difficult, and like not difficult, so easy, like we saw with Chisora and Dillian White, you would have made that fight. Like, this is the thing. We know Usyk is a good fighter, but we now know that Fury is just a fraud. We all know that. You can do all the TV shows you want. I might even enjoy the TV show. I've watched some of the episodes. It's actually quite good. But the problem is, you ducked Alexander Usyk, a middleweight, according to you. So, the way I see it is, if Fury wants to say he's the greatest of all time, bull crap. You ain't the greatest of all time, and you haven't even fought everyone in your era. You haven't fought AJ. You haven't fought Usyk. And honestly, honestly, you probably fight Joe Joyce for another easy fight as well, because we saw that Joe got beat by Zhang. So it's just a case of like Tyson Fury is going down as one of the biggest liars right now. And unfortunately, there's not much he can do about it because he's got delusional fans who will just defend him until the very end. And unfortunately, we're probably never going to see the fights that we want, like Usyk and him versus Usyk and him versus Joshua. Which is a shame because the Joshua fight was supposed to happen, but obviously it couldn't happen because he didn't want to pay Wilder. Like, am I wrong? Like, am I like and I don't think many people would argue with me about that because I've been tracking Fury for ages now, and I know that he doesn't want these fights. If he did want these fights, he would make them. No bullshit, no negotiations, no public negotiations, and you get it done. End of story. The fact that it's not happening just shows that like he's not that guy. He's just not that guy.
Yeah, 100% agree, man. But how do you see now Fury versus Usyk going if we do get that fight maybe next year?
Well, obviously Fury is a big guy, so Usyk will have to worry about that. But as we've seen in recent fights, he's not as light on his feet as he was when he fought against Klitschko. He's not as light on his feet as he was. He's more flat-footed, and as we saw, you can't go flat-footed against Deontay Wilder. He got knocked down twice for a reason, and he's hit the deck a couple times. And Otto Wallem did give him that cut as well. So the way I see it is he's not as light anymore. And when you've got a Usyk who's only don't forget Usyk's 36 and yet he's still light on his feet as if he was in like his early 20s. Like that guy's footwork and his movement is so good, and that's what. And then Fury's more comfortable when he can just go into cruise control against like Chisora and White. Because he knows he can just jab them and then land the punch on them to knock them out or knock them down or have them the ref stop the fight. But with Usyk, you've got to go on the front foot to knock him out because you ain't gonna win the decision on him. Even Fury wouldn't win a decision because Usyk is just too quick. So, in my opinion, you just have to like just go for knock him out, and I don't think Fury would, to be honest. So I think Usyk would win.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, it's a bit biased because we just watched an Usyk victory in TKO in the ninth round. But honestly, if the fight gets made now, I mean, it's tough because obviously since that third Deontay Wilder fight, Fury has done well. You know, Fury's done exceptionally well. You know, he did very well against Dillian White. Let's be honest, he did knock him out clean in the sixth round. You know, same against Derek Chisora. You know, he did completely outbox him. Um, so honestly, man, I think right now it's 50-50. But if I had to pick one, it'd be Usyk to win that fight.
But that's the thing though. Yeah, Fury looks good, but who is he fighting? Like Dillian White literally got beat by Povetkin and then went back and beat him, and literally all and Dillian White went in there southpaw against Fury. Out. You're not going. Oh yeah, there's the body blow again. Like you're supposed to go in there to knock Fury out. You're not gonna win by decision. And let me just say this as well. With Chisora, literally, I've spoken to people about that Chisora fight.
Yeah, yeah, man, 100% agree. Yeah, I just can't wait for it, man. It needs to be made. Whoever is dictating this, whoever's stopping this fight from happening, needs to just like get out. Because us as fans, and the fighters themselves, right? Think of this, right? You're Alexander Usyk. In 20 years' time, when this is all said and done, you want to know. You want to know if you were the best or not. Let's be honest, right? You want to know in that period of time, 2023, 2024, whenever the fight gets made, were you the best? Were you the undisputed, unified heavyweight champion of the world? So whether it's promotion, whether it's ego, whatever is stopping this fight from happening, needs to just go. Needs to get left at the door. We need this fight. They need this fight. Let's make this happen. Fury versus Usyk as fast as possible.
100%, mate. Like, we need this fight to see who the greatest is because Usyk wants to do it. Fury clearly doesn't want to do it. He keeps saying he's the greatest of all time. Mate, you've had what, 6 title fights to my knowledge? Maybe more. And your next fight against Ngannou, your title isn't even on the line. This isn't a boxing match. It's an exhibition at this point. Your WBC belt isn't on the line against Ngannou because guess what? Ngannou is not a fucking boxer. Again. And let me just quickly just try just argue this as well because I'm sick of just having to argue this again and again. Let me just say this. The Saudis offered 50-50 for the fight. Frank Warren himself said this would have been an easy fight to make. 50-50. Usyk has 3 belts. Fury has 1, but Fury does have a bigger following than Usyk. Because it's a British crowd as well, and the Saudis love British fighters, as we saw with Tommy Fury when he fought Jake Paul. And then you have Usyk, 50-50, and there probably would have been a rematch clause in case Fury lost or case Usyk lost. Oh, well, Jake Paul's in the ring, actually.
Oh, wait, we see Jake Paul in the ring right now. We see Jake Paul in the ring with Alexander Usyk. That is kind of mad, you know?
That's surprising.
Wow. Are you seeing this as well, Taylor?
I'm watching it right now.
Jake Paul is in the ring with Alexander Usyk after he retains his WBA, WBO, and IBF heavyweight world titles. Oh, who would have thought that, man? Jake Paul would be in the ring.
You can't.
When Usyk defends his 3 heavyweight titles. You can't write this stuff. We're actually in some sort of simulation. You actually can't write this stuff, can you?
No, you can't.
What have I actually just seen, man? What have I actually just seen? I've seen a YouTuber / Disney star in the same ring as a undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh. And we saw we saw said YouTube star. We saw some YouTube / Disney star lose to Tommy Fury, and now his main rival supposed to fight Tommy Fury. And yeah, I think I've seen more people give that his rival a chance, KSI, more of a chance against Tommy. Like, just don't forget. Let me just. I'll debate that fine just a second. Let me just get back to Fury versus Ngannou and Fury versus Usyk. Let me just make one thing clear. Fury offered 70-30 to Usyk, and Usyk, the warrior that he is, who has the balls to fight anybody, accepted. The only one was a rematch clause, and which is fair. Most fights have rematch clauses, and that's pretty reasonable to ask. But no, it just keeps happening, and then they keep delays, and then Usyk is forced to take on his mandatory, which was Dubois, but we've just seen what happened anyway. So, and then Fury goes around saying, "Oh, he ducked me, he's a chicken," like yada yada. Like, honestly, like it's just it's frustrating. And then you have pillocks like Frank Warren going on saying like they didn't want this fight. Like, let me just say this: if Usyk didn't want this fight, why did he accept 70-30? If Usyk didn't want the fight. And let me just get this straight. And let me 1 second. Let me just get this straight. You're telling me there was nobody else for you to fight. You could have gone for Zhang. You could have gone for Herkovich. You could have gone for the Joshua fight. But instead, you go for a guy who's never boxed in his life. Frank Warren, stop lying to us, you pillock. It's so fucking frustrating having to argue this. Like, why am I the guy having to say this? But of course, you have people like pricks like Gareth A. Davis, who's just the Fury's mouth hole. Like, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he's pregnant female semen that's in his mouth from them. Wouldn't surprise me. But honestly, it's just so fucking frustrating. Like, I want to see who the rest of the best is. I want the fucking greatest fights. Only recently we got fucking fights like Tank versus Garcia and Crawford versus Spence after fucking waiting years for it. Like, we as fans have been waiting patiently for these fights, and we have earned them. If you're just gonna duck people and not fight the greatest of the greats, you're just a bunch of pillocks.
Yeah, man, 100%, 100%. Yeah, going back to this fight though, Techno, what was your main most impressive moment you have for Alexander Usyk? What was the highlight, would you say, of this fight?
Probably the fact that someone actually managed to get Usyk on the deck, even though it was an illegal blow. But no, seriously though, I think it's just like how Usyk is able to make a brawler like Dubois just look childish.
Yeah, he really did make Dubois look like an amateur. And that's no disrespect to Daniel Dubois. 18 KOs is really good at, especially in the heavyweight division. But man, he really did make him look like an amateur, which is
No,
scary, man. Which is actually scary when you think about it.
but don't forget when you. But here's the thing though, like Dubois isn't a massive power puncher compared to like Deontay Wilder because when you fight Deontay Wilder, you know if he lands, you're going to fucking sleep. You're going to sleep if Deontay Wilder lands on you. No, honestly though, like if John,
Yeah.
like the only person that ever actually got to the final round before the first Fury fight was Bermain Stavern in their first fight. But lo and behold, in the rematch, Wilder knocks down Stavern 3 times in the first round in their second fight. Nobody survives against Deontay Wilder unless you're Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk. No one survives against Deontay Wilder. He
But
even
that's
put
the thing, though. That's what I do also like the Usyk and Wilder fight, because
exactly
does
though.
Wilder land that right hand?
What I
Does he
think
land that right hand and really put Usyk to sleep? Who knows?
What I like with Deontay Wilder is the fact that he knows. I imagine he knows he's not the best technical boxer. Like nobody, I don't think I've heard anybody say
No, of
Wilder's a good
course.
technical boxer. But what he is good at
Mhm.
is patience. In his recent fights, like we saw in the Ortiz fight, he becomes more patient because he knows all he has to do is win 1 second of a 12 round fight.
Essentially, yeah, man. Essentially,
Um,
yeah.
what
That's what
also
makes him scary, man. That's what makes him and he's so good at it. He's so good at it as well. It's not like, Wilder's only done this 4, 5, 6, 12, 20. Bro, he's done this for almost every single professional fight he's had. That's what's
yes,
scary.
and again with John J. Wilder is the fact that when you go in there, you've got to be very fucking careful against Deontay Wilder. One slip up, and that right hand is on your chin, and you're going to sleep. That's what makes Deontay Wilder very dangerous. Is that when you go in that ring, you know that if that right hand connects, unless you got granite chin, you're going to sleep. And that's why, in my opinion, the thing is though, what I love about Deontay Wilder is the fact that again he's not the most technical, but what he does do is the fact that he swings. And when you swing like that, you've got to be very careful when trying to move and dodge those punches. Because just like with Francis Ngannou in the UFC, he'll just swing until that right hand lands, or when it clips. And we saw that with Ngannou when he fought Rosenstruik, and that uppercut when that landed on Overeem. It's the same with Wilder. Like he'll go forward and just swing and land the punch to knock you down or knock you out. It will just come down to if Usyk is quick enough to dodge those punches from Wilder, which I think he will. But I would give Wilder a good chance against Usyk because I know that he'd be going in there with kill or be killed. He knows he ain't gonna win a boxing match with Usyk. No one does. So I give Wilder a good shot against Usyk. Do I think he win?
Mm,
Probably not, but I think it'll be a good fight to watch.
100%, 100%. Oh man, 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 man. Yeah, man, and look at that stat there. Usyk is one of 3 fighters to hold both cruiserweight and a heavyweight division. Cruiserweight and heavyweight titles. The only 2 other fighters that did that were Evander Holyfield and David Haye, and that just says it all, man. He's literally up there with the best of the sport.
And don't forget, Evander Holyfield isn't a pushover. Wasn't a pushover either. Like that man when against Tyson got bit part of his ear bitten off. And yeah,
Wow.
and then you have
Yeah.
David Haye, who's in my opinion one of the best British boxers like ever. definitely not as good as Lennox Lewis though. That man was something else. But David Haye, like, I mean, I was watching David Haye's fight against Nikolai Valuev, like it was like David versus Goliath basically. Mate, he made Valuev look like he was not even gonna it was so easy for him.
Mad, man. But yeah, man. Well, I'm just thinking, how does Usyk compare and match up with the sports greats? You know.
Well, obviously I can't put him up there yet because he's not fought the best of the best, but that's not his fault though. He wants to fight the best of the best. He wants to fight like Tyson Fury and stuff, but obviously since Fury doesn't want the fight, we can't get that fight. And it's annoying because since Usyk and Tyson can't fight each other, we won't find out who the best of this generation is.
But though, right, so this is where it gets interesting, right? Because if you do look at Usyk's resume, it's outstanding. He beat Derek Chisora. Okay, decent fighter, right? He then goes and knocks out Tony Bellew cold.
And after
Like
after
cold,
gassing
right?
him out as well.
Then beats Anthony Joshua, former world champion, back to back. He beat Anthony Joshua in the first fight, completely outboxed him, and won on the cards in London, Joshua's home, like city, hometown, and then outboxed him in Saudi. So that's Tony Bellew, Derek Chisora, and Joshua twice. And now he's beaten Daniel Dubois. You know what I mean? He's a great resume already. And we're still yet to see that Tyson Fury fight.
Yeah, and we want that fight, but since Fury doesn't want it, we're probably not going to get it for it. And that's annoying.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, man.
It's just it's like I guess if you say that boxing's just in the mud right now because only recently have we been getting some of the fights that we want. Like in MMA, it's not as bad. Like obviously, there's a few fights that have gone away from us, like Fedor Emelianenko versus Randy Couture, George St Pierre versus Anderson Silva, and obviously one of the fights that we did get though was Chuck Liddell versus Wanderlei Silva, and that was fight of the year, back in I think 2007. So that was a fight that people have been wanting. Then we got it. It was amazing. Like these big fights do big money and they get a lot of attention. Think about what happened with Tank versus Garcia. That go over like 1 million pay-per-view buys. And Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. is in like the top 10 biggest gains. Like people want and care about these fights and they want to see them.
Yeah, yeah, man. And that's the thing. Yeah, I'm glad in 2023, we have got some of the big fights. Garcia versus Tank, that did so well in terms of pay-per-views. We've had Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. We are getting some of these big fights, and I'm glad we are now. But again, we want to see the big heavyweight fight in Fury versus Usyk. But let's hope we get it sometime next year.
Hopefully. Okay, I think that's about all we've really got to talk about, to be honest. All I could say is, before we end this stream, I would just like to say thank you everybody for watching who stayed with us and basically heard us chat about this for a while. We'll be back on with Alphaplug tomorrow with more videos. We got plenty of videos scheduled for you. Next month we possibly have Misfits 009, and then we're not sure about the Kingpin tournament final yet, but we'll keep you updated in case anything comes out. And in October 14th, KSI versus Tommy Fury, the prime card in Manchester at the AO Arena. You will not want to miss it. We will be there with all the scoops that we can get. Any info that we get, we'll update you on. You got anything you want to say, Shane, before we end this stream?
I just want to say to the viewers, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, man, we're gonna be back with some big content very, very soon. So turn on post notifications if you haven't already. If you're new, subscribe. And yeah, man, we'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.